She doesn't have a good support system of, women in her circle.
Right.
Right? Because the last woman she let in her circle, fucked her man. Just the list of things.
Right.
So when you think about these two opposite forces happening to us at the same time, now how are we supposed to meet in the middle with that? How? But there is a way that it can be done, because Black men always say, they only want the bad boy. That's the first thing they say. And they're gold diggers. Well, I know a lot of Black women who just wanted to meet somebody nice, just take me to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So you think she's a gold digger because she want you to buy her a sandwich?
Right.
And you think that's too much to do?
We have there's so many amazing Black women, and you see the ones that get looked over because they, there's Black men that look at the ones trying to get the attention seeking and all that.
Yeah.
But the ones that are really solid, they're the most beautiful ones, because looks wise, they probably getting passed over because they're not leading with that.
Because they don't look like a video vixen.
Mentality wise, but behind the scenes they could.
Right.
They may not just be dressed like this because they ain't trying to show up.
Right.
Mentality wise, very smart, and they're not going to put everything on the man. They're going to hold the man accountable, just like her man should do that.
Because you should hold yourself accountable.
Exactly. And the love is there. Hey, I might have had a couple bad situations, but I can't put that on every man. And then they're the ones that's typically going to get married quicker. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't have to get married. They're going to be the ones that have the better relationships. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to friendships, they're going to be the ones that either have the most solid friendships or everybody loves.
Right. Now, can I give you something on, that will help you and anybody that sees this? Mm-hmm. And I say this to people all the time. Not everyone is strong. So if you are in a situation where you're trying to talk to a particular woman and everything you just said, right? She didn't have a support system. She doesn't blah, blah, blah. Not everyone is strong. Not everybody has the same amount of fortitude. Not everybody has had that invested in them, in their soul, in their DNA. I just lost my favorite cousin December 23rd. She was my favorite cousin. We adored each other. Mm-hmm. She loved me so much that every time I would go home to visit, as soon as I would walk in the door, she would just burst out crying and fall to the floor or throw herself on the couch. And she was like, my cousin is here. I just love my cousin. She's here. Just the sight of me, And I just done the Smile 69 Network show that week, and I'd also done the Grown Man show that week. And something just hit me, right? I noticed that every time we went to take promo pictures, when the girls would line up, right? Because we all had our spot, hit your mark, right? They would all turn around. And I remember thinking, my face is my real estate.
Right.
By the time you get to that, you already in love, because my face is my real estate. My energy is my real estate. Right. But when you see all of them turn around, doesn't that tell you what they think about themselves? No judgment. No judgment. Mm-hmm. Right? Right? Not everybody's strong. Not everybody is confident. So one day I called my cousin, because I had just had this whole experience that Sunday with both shows. And I'm like, nobody turned around. So I said, let me see what happens if I asked the guys to take some promo shots with me, right? By myself, right? Because we all did that as well. All of us did single shots. And so I hit my mark and I pose. And everybody knows I got 3 poses. Don't have me doing a bunch. I'm not doing a bunch. 3. When I hit that third one, that's it. I ain't got no more to give. Mostly because I start giggling.
Yeah.
So that the fourth shot is always this. That's always the fourth shot because, like, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
So I called my cousin. Now, let me describe her. She was always like what we call BBB, big black beauty. Mm-hmm. She was always like built like the women in my family, tall, like 6 feet, barefoot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the women in my family. And she was always like, like what you would call a big girl, but she was curvy and stylish, and good God, did the men love her. Mm-hmm. And it hit me. And I called her. I was like, cousin. I said, do you realize that we never heard the women in our family talk bad about the way they look? And she paused and she said, oh my God, you're right. I said, think about it. Did you ever hear any of the women in our family talk bad about the way they look? Like, never. My mother was the greatest beauty in the family. It was hands down, that was it. She gave birth to beautiful children, right? She gave me the best DNA, right? This is Sally's DNA.
The hair is always slayed fire.
That's my mama, right? She gave it to me and my sister. Mm-hmm. We both,
Your hair is always, that's the one thing about you too. You always making sure that your hair is together.
I'm not playing in these streets like that. Yeah. Well, mostly because I was taught that you don't just roll out the house like that. Right. Like, who does that? And that was a rule in our family, is that you don't just roll out any kind of way. You're a woman. When we were little, it was like, you a little girl. Right. You should have a clean dress. Your shoes your little patent leathers need to be shiny. Mm. Your little socks with the lace on it. All of that had to be on point. Like, we don't come out of the house like that, Same thing when I started growing up and being a young woman. I tried to sneak out of the house, going to school with a halter top on. Mm-hmm. My mama caught me because children are so stupid. They're so stupid. So the bow that I had tied so cute in the back was sticking out of my sweatshirt. And she grabbed me by the back of that bow and dragged me to the floor and said, I don't know where you think you're going. Mm-hmm. Okay? Ain't no hoes in high school. So, I don't know what you're going to wear, but it ain't going to be this. Right?
Right.
But we never heard anybody say, I'm too fat. I'm too short. Mm. Oh, look, I got a gut. Like, we just didn't hear language like that. And now that I'm looking at things, I'm like, that's why my cousin and I don't feel a way about what we look like. Right. We're always immaculate because that's what we do. Mm. That's how we were raised, And she was a beauty. Mm-hmm. We were meeting for lunch. And I'd gone home and we went to one of those, hotel restaurants. I think they just started letting Black people eat their necks, like in the late 80s. You could just tell because it was still like fully like 92% white. Yeah. They just started letting us be in there. Right. And so I was meeting her. And so I'm at the table and I'm waiting. And soon as she hit the door, everybody stopped what they were doing just to watch her walk across the room, baby. Mm. And we talking about this is a big girl, but she was always stunting on them in these streets. Yeah, she was just always like that. Like,
and we alluded to this a little bit earlier, but like, can you talk about even just how important the sex appeal is, but how it has nothing to do with just by look? It's how it's all about the character and everything. I want to hear your perspective on that.
Everybody has their own version of what sex appeal is, right? You can tell by the way a woman carries herself, how she feels about her sex appeal. Mm. Like, if you see it's a woman that, like, she wears shorter skirts and you know how Black women are with them legs oiled up in the summertime. Yeah, fine. Right? That's her sex appeal. That's what her sex appeal is.
Right.
Like I said, this is my real estate. And for, men, there are some men there's some men that they just got it. They could just talk you into anything. And as soon as you lean into them, you're like, I know I shouldn't be fucking looking at him like this because he is horrible, but I can't stop.
Yeah.
You know? And then there are some men that are like you, just your openness, like about just life, period. And then when you smile, it's a wrap. That was my first thought with the first time I met you. I was like, oh, this brother's smile. Good Lord. You know, but your sex appeal is that you are a decent, kind man. Mm. That is sexy.
I appreciate that.
To the right woman, that is sexy. Mm. That's sexy, you know.
I get a lot of compliments on that too.
Of course you do. Mm. You know why? Because when you smile, it makes anybody you encounter feel good.
I appreciate that.
It's a feel-good thing. Yeah. You know, that person could have just been having the worst day. And all you did was pass her and smile and say hello. Mm. In a lot of cases, that woman walked away thinking she was cute as hell. She was like, I was cute today. And then she told her girlfriend on the phone, girl, this brother, I was looking so good today. He had to smile. Because that's what it does. That's what sex appeal does. You know, when I stop, and I talk to these brothers who I'm no way interested in at all. But he said hello, so I got to give him a minute. Mm. Like, he gets to walk away saying, yeah, because I was the man today, yeah, take that.
Right.
Yeah, take that. Feel that vibe. Yeah. Right? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Sex appeal is never what people think it is.
Right.
It's never what people think it is.
And there's not one way that's greater than another. It's equal on its all different ways.
No.
Yeah. No. There's people out there that don't have it because they try to force it.
Oh, yeah. There are some people that don't. And then there are some men, to be honest, they're just awkward.
Yeah.
That's their only, they're just awkward. Like, give the awkward brother a minute.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't got no game, and it's all right. You don't always need to do it with game.
Right.
Give his awkward ass a minute to get his words together in his mouth.
The game is a game changer. The game will put you in another zone.
You don't want it. I can tell you, sisters, you don't want it.
But if the guy's intentional with it, I mean, I can't get my secrets.
There are some men, because there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to tell y'all. There's stuff, brothers, y'all going to have to find out for yourself because I'm not about to tell. Right. There's some things that are just girl code and we take it to the grave.
Yeah, it's over.
We don't even talk about it if there's a man in the house. Mm-hmm. That's how much we don't want y'all to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? So, sex appeal is like what is sexy to you might not be sexy to someone else.
Right.
So I use Accessoride in New York. That's the system, like for people who are handicapped, to get around. Like, and so they take me to the club. I just love when I fall out of the club in my wheelchair at 4 a.m. It's the best thing ever. Best nights ever.
And she be outside too.
I'm outside.
Last night you tore up.
Oh Lord.
That's a whole nother story.
It was my birthday.
She had a hangover. She said, DeMarcus, I gotta push this dinner back for a couple hours.
I had to just try to get it together today. Like a lot of water, because a lot of water.
So she still be turning up too.
Oh Lord, geez, and then my birthday week, I really get it in. So, but what is sexy to you is not sexy to someone else. So I'm on Accessoride this day. And I really like this driver because he had been married like 15 years and he was happily married because he was loving his wife. And he said, do you mind if I pull over and stop to give my wife her lunch? She forgot her lunch. And I said, sure, of course. So we're talking and we just talking about, I always like to ask older men what they think the state of affairs are between Black women and Black men. I've learned so much from them old dudes. They really did, they shined a light on it. So anyway, we were talking about what is attractive, to a man. And he said, those girls that are half naked that got the BBL bodies. And he said, not every man likes that.
Yeah, no.
And then he was like, take a sister like you. I said, oh, I love that he's using me as an example because this is going to be a teachable moment.
Right.
He said, you real pretty. You got a beautiful face, And he said, you cute as you could be. He said, but you would not be my type. He said, so let me tell you what I like. I was like, tell me what you like. Because when a man says that, he can ready to tell you the truth.
Right.
Right?
Right. Everybody ain't going to be everybody's type.
Put a pin in that.
Right.
Because that's going to be important in a minute.
Okay.
Right? Because he's about to tell me the truth and I want to hear it. Right? So he said, here's what I like. He said, I like a woman that's more solid. Something I can grab on to. He said, you know, you see him sometimes with the big, thick ankles and the pump fat. I was like, he was like, that's what I like. So we riding down, was it 6th Avenue? And there was this woman, like she must have been like, you know, one of those park and meter people. So anyway, so he rolls down the window and yells something real nice to her. He was like, something like, yeah, I see you out there, baby. I like what I see. And you could tell she got really angry because she thought he was making fun of her. So 15 blocks away, he pulls over. His wife comes out of the building. She was shaped just like that woman he was hollering at. That's what he likes.
Right.
He wasn't making fun of her. He really meant like, I think you are the shit.
Right.
Because he just got finished telling me, he was like, ain't nothing I can do with you. He said, I'll snap you like a twig. Your little arms. Like, but if you just stop taking things personal, ladies, and listen, you will learn what men really do think. Because here's what happens, and I'm not getting on them about this because I know the place that it comes from, right? Soon in collective conversation, as soon as a black man says one thing that she does not like one or two of the women or all the women, here come the da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, if you let him finish his thought, we all want to learn some new shit today. You just fucked it up for everyone. Now I got to figure out how am I going to get this brother back in this headspace when we're by ourselves so I can find out what he was trying to say.
Because he's going to be like, that's why I didn't want to say that in the first place.
That's exactly what they all said. They all said, see? And all the men threw their hands in there. It was like 4 of them. And they were like, this is why. Like, soon as I say something, I get shut down with the rah, rah, rah.
Right.
Now, again, I have a better advantage, right? Because much like the women in our family taught us that, like, everything about you is one. We ain't got to talk. What faults? What ain't cute? What?
Yeah.
What? They also taught us about men in a real way. So that's when you first get to stand near the kitchen door to hear the grown women talk. And that's where some truths are coming. Like, and they talk about it fast and furious, saying all of it. You learn it, right? Then they let you come in the kitchen. And then you just sit there and you be quiet. Because I was told once, you ain't old enough to make a comment at the table. Because I was 18. What I know? I ain't done shit yet.
Right.
I ain't got nothing to add. You know. But I would listen to them and they taught us how you navigate with men. So, you know, when I was, 12, 13, like, boys always liked me. But I also had a lot of male friends.
Right.
So there'd be like, a bunch of dudes on my stoop. And my father, that's my bonus daddy. Like, he was not crazy about it. But my mama shut it down. She was like, get in the house, Earl, and mind your business. Because what she was teaching me was how to navigate amongst men. Right? There's no girls here. It's just me and about 10 dudes on any given day. And she was right. Because I mostly became friends with them so nobody could date me because they would not let them. Which is what my mother knew. Was that I would be protected. Right? So she always was in favor of me being in the company of boys so that I would know how boys move, the things they say. Because once you become friends with them, they're going to put you on. They're going to tell you everything, And because we moved to this neighborhood when I was 11 or 12, it's mostly Caribbean, so it's very Christian based. Mm-hmm. So they thought I was some big sloppy whore. Like, she just always got boys over there. And she's always like, out with like boys. And I seen her around the corner sitting on the stoop with the boy. Like, meanwhile, your daughter is the biggest whore. Oh God. Oh God. You don't know what happens in the summer when you go to work, ma'am. You're not at the 2 train good. Right. Before like 3, 4, 5 boyfriends.
You would not be happy.
You would not be thrilled. Right. So, so they taught us about men, and then when you got old enough to like, for them to really like lay it down for you, like 16. Yeah. Let me tell you something about men, baby. Now here, and my grandmother was the best at this because we would all gather, like all my friends would come over when my grandmother visited because she was the queen bee of them all. And she would tell us these stories about her love affairs. Because we didn't have this kind of firsthand information with the full story behind it. Right. The full story. And so like she just, and what I didn't know from my mom, I learned from my grandmother, when she was married to my grandfather, Manny, this was the best thing ever. So he didn't want her to come to New York because she was going to be here for a month. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, now if you don't come home, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. She said, well, good. If you end up dead over there, you will be the 4th husband that I buried because I will outlive you. And she did. And I was like, Grandma. She was like, baby, he got 30 days worth of meals in that refrigerator. He ain't going to kill himself. He just stupid right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because she had no reaction to the whole suicide. Yeah. She said, baby, please. He got food in there. He ain't going to kill himself. As long as he can eat, he going to be fine. So see, little things and big things you could be learning. Right. Like, just be quiet for 5 minutes.
How do you feel? I know you spoke on this a bit, but like being a handicapped woman, I mean, I want you to brag on yourself for the results you were able to get from men, from the types of men that you were able to date. Like, speak on your experience, just because you hear to where, like I said, a lot of women are saying that they are not getting quality men. Men ain't shit. They ain't get these types. But you've been able to get that.
Yeah, I've dated some wonderful men. So.
And they're not looking at you for what's going on.
Not at all, and never have. Mm-hmm. Never have.
So talk about that.
Okay, so I would say that every man that I ever dated, they all said the same thing. Mm-hmm. They were attracted to my confidence. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. The beauty just came with it, right? But they liked my confidence because, of course, they stopped to talk to me, or want me to talk to them because I'm beautiful. Yeah. That's just DNA.
Absolutely.
That's DNA. Mm-hmm. My mother told me beauty will fade, honey. Intellect never will. Nobody likes a stupid woman. So I was raised more to lean into being smart and having, intelligence and reading and education. And she was like, the rest of that, we already got that. That's what we do in this family. Ain't nothing. Mm-hmm. Go ahead on with that. Yeah. And so every man I dated said that they were always attracted to my confidence. Mm-hmm. Because I never think that a man won't like me. Mm-hmm. Like, why would I ever think that? Right. Right? Yeah. Just, and if I like you back, well, then let's parlay for a minute, sir.
You see how slick she is?
Let's parlay for a moment, sir. Yeah. Because one thing about, men is they like a woman who is confident. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, and this I can't tell. I'll tell you behind the scenes. I can always tell when a man is full of shit because that dude always says the same thing to me. And then when he says that, I'm like, you won't make it to my front door, much less between my legs. Bro, you just said the worst thing you could say to me.
You be calling them out on spot?
I mean, why not? Because I'm never going to see you again, bro. Grand opening, grand closing, baby. Right. And he doesn't even know what he just said.
It's the Apollo. You get one chance.
Yeah. You got one shot.
Yeah.
But whenever they say this one sentence to me, I'm like, baby, damn. Damn, it was going so good. But I'm glad that you said it because now I know who you really are.
Right.
I know who you really are. You know. I was at this very popular bar one night and with some friends, and this man came over to the table like to join us. So he starts out talking to me. Then he went and started talking to the woman across the table, like really hitting on her, right? Fine, baby. So I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, baby, I'm going to need you to move over there. And he said, why? I said, because you're engaged with her and there's like 3 men at the bar who are waiting to talk to me and you're in the way.
Right.
He was so stunned. He was like, wait, what? You're in the way, baby.
Yeah.
You started talking to her. I'm gathering that this is where your interest is, and I'm good with it.
I'm going to go where I'm appreciated.
There's 3 men at the bar who are waiting to talk to me. They just want you to move.
Right.
They're waiting for you to leave. Yeah. Go to the bathroom. Go check on your car.
Handle your business.
No, do whatever you need to do. But if you're talking across the table, you are not going to block my view.
Right. That's it.
It's summer. I'm wearing a pretty dress and 4-inch heels. Nigga, get out of the way. Oh, my God.
Right. You got business to take care of.
Get out of the way, bro.
Right.
Like.
That's how it is for a guy, too. If a woman is sitting there and she's done showing interest in my man, you need to go on somewhere else.
She started talking to you.
We're not coming back.
Now she moving on to your mans and them.
Yeah.
Now, girl.
You done smiled up in his face. You think I didn't notice?
You done grinned at him.
No.
It's all kind of interaction. And you think I don't know that you a hoe. I know, I see. Like,
come on now.
Men know when they see a hoe.
Come on now.
There's some men that like hoes, and good for y'all. If you can live with that kind of tension every day,
you're a good one.
You go ahead with that.
Yeah.
You know. So I just, like, you know,
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You know, you are not going to, you know, think that you can like engage with me any old kind of way, you know.
Yeah.
Because if that's how you think you're moving. And I did end up dating him because he lost all interest in her. She had nothing interesting to say because now she's just trying to get his attention. And I'm like, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
I leaned over. I was like, girl, you can have him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nah, I don't want him. Like, you know. And I said, well, I mean, that's certainly not what you said just now. So he said, well, she's like, I would really want to call. I said, we'll see. Let's see how the rest of this evening goes. And whether or not I'll give you my phone number. Now, here was the breakdown with Brother Man. Successful black dentist, right? Huge house on President Street. Drove a yellow Jaguar. And that was his regular, like, you know, bar to come to, like, you know, after work for drinks. So there's a ton of women that were always trying to get him. I'm not trying to get you. I've never had to try to get a man. And I don't know that you have a yellow Jaguar. And I don't know that you're a dentist. I just know that 2 seconds ago you were an asshole and I wasn't having it. I ended up dating him. We had the most, he was the most fun I've ever, any guy I ever dated. He was the most fun.
Now, what made you give him a chance if he tried to holler at your own girl?
No, she wasn't my homegirl. That was the thing. I didn't know this girl.
Oh, okay.
We all just ended up somehow at this big table.
But the fact that he did that.
The fact that he did that, oh, that's just boys playing boys games. Like, he needs to feel like he's sexy to everybody. I don't have that kind of need. But baby, if that's what you need, if that makes you feel good, right? So I had nothing to lose going on a date with him because now it's up to him to prove to me whatever it is he thinks he's, you know, going to be proving. Like, whatever.
So initially you really feeling though, you're not trying to be in competition, but you like, I know what you really want is right here.
Right.
But you
because I already read your inner monologue.
Right.
That was his inner monologue.
And you just not confident enough yet to come over here, so you got to go over there in the meantime.
Well, that's why he started talking to me. But then when she put out, like, you know, energy, because she probably seen him at the bar before and knows he's a dentist and knows he has a yellow Jaguar. I don't know you. Right? And he was dressed, like, impeccably. Right? Because my first job was selling men's suits. Right? And So I know when I spot a suit, I already know how much it costs. I see how much you spend on yourself.
Yeah.
Good to know, right? And my bonus daddy taught me shoes. Mm-hmm. I look down at the shoes and nice. Mm-hmm. Italian leather? Yeah. You wearing like $85 shirt, you ain't playing no games in these streets, okay? Mm-hmm. So I do like that, right? And I knew that he was just trying to feel important to this woman who was trying so hard to get his attention, but I was talking to everybody at the table. The two people I came with, the one person that met us there, and I think that one person that brought her, I didn't know her. So I had nothing. We're not competing. I just told him to go over there and talk to you.
Right.
Sir, carry on. Mm-hmm. Because I'm cute, it's summer. Like, and that's when I do my best work. So it's not a competition. So you can go ahead. Right. You know? And that's the same thing if you're talking to a sister and she start like really like leaning into your man and hiki and like smiling at him. 2 seconds ago, you were just smiling at me. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you already know. And it don't even make you feel no kind of way because you're like, if that's how you move, girl, good. I'm glad I see it.
Right.
I'm glad I see it. You know.
Yeah.
I have so many men tell me that like, oh yeah, you know, because that bitch is crazy. And I'm like, now how does she get that way? Because that story always ends up in your lap, bro.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Because you know your mans and them have told you stories about the crazy bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how that relationship started.
But also
so you
I know how he be moving.
And you know why she crazy.
Right.
And then there are times when you probably told your man, look, she looked like she gonna be crazy. Mm-hmm. Because you can spot it.
Yeah, you just want the kitty cat.
Right. Yeah. And men think crazy sex is fun. Yeah, until it ain't.
Yeah, until you. Yeah.
Until it ain't.
Until it's over for you.
She just threw a brick through your car window. Right. Is it sexy now? No, it's not. Okay.
Right.
So y'all need to stop talking about how women like, you know, bad boy. Yeah. And I'm going to dispel that myth. Mm-hmm. It's not so much that women like bad boys. When a man that has that quote unquote bad boy thing, right? They don't just hit you with the one conversation. They keep coming at you with it. Mm-hmm. They keep pouring on the charm. They will do the most. Mm. Now, if you've had a dry spell or you've been really lonely, sooner or later that man is going to wear you down. Right. So that's how they, you know, and I've dated one of them, right? They wear you down because they do not stop.
Right.
And if you're feeling lonely, because like I said, everybody is not sturdy. Because when I dated him, I was in a very lonely place. Mm. You know, I had lost everybody. Mm. You know, I was an orphan, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my mom's gone, my dad's gone. Like, this is, you know. And he just would not stop. Would not stop. Because that's how they get decent women like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then if you take a woman who is not as strong,
mm-hmm.
you know, she's already not sturdy in herself,
mm-hmm.
you know. Because I knew when I was, you know, dating Mr. Wrong, I was like, oh, I'm so going to get out of this the second I'm not in the mood for this. Yeah. It's fun for now.
Yeah.
But the second I'm not into this, and I did just that, I just stop. You don't know why. Mm-hmm. I just stop. I just don't take your calls anymore. I don't block you.
Yeah.
I don't take your calls when they bust from downstairs. I never let you in. Mm. And now the shock sets in for him because he's like, oh shit, I think it's over. Yes, it is.
Yep. That's it.
Because if you're confident, you know you're gonna pull yourself out of it. Like, right.
You don't care about the content. You don't care about, yeah.
I don't care how this looks. Like, I'm just going to be done. When I'm done, I'm just going to be done.
Exactly.
Like,
you know, something I realized too, based on your point as well. I realized, and this is going to sound crazy, but I realized how easy it is to be a not shit dude. You know
easy.
How the guy, you know, how the women that like some of the night. To me, that's too easy because I've said this many times and it sounds crazy. the way in which I can talk, I know how to read rooms and all that. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to manipulate somebody, I feel like I easily could just because I know how I can talk, but that's never been something I wanted to do, and that was never challenging to me because if I can lie to you and get what I want, if I can lie to a woman, we can do whatever. She's having my representative. She technically didn't even do nothing.
She never met you.
Never met me. So for me, even though it's a lot harder because a lot of times people don't necessarily understand authenticity and integrity as much.
They don't.
So they may treat you a certain way just because of their misunderstandings. It's still more rewarding because you're going to have way better results, situations. You can have 2 or 3 situations. They may not even end in marriage. But what you got out of that is way better than people that have had marriages for years.
That's true.
Or people that have gotten, relationships or whatever.
Yep. Because you're right. It is really easy to manipulate someone. Mm-hmm. It's really easy.
Especially when you know how big your personality is and you see how people come to you anyways. So now, even based on what you said, you have people where they're in a vulnerable state.
Yep.
So the thing is, if I can get you there without even saying anything, doing anything.
And it's not hard.
Right.
All right. So you asked me to be truthful. Yeah. So I just said to my sister, I forgot what point I was in this part of my life, but it was I think my creativity had slowed down. I wasn't really doing anything creative at that time. Mm. And for me, that feels like, I'm standing on desert sand when I'm not doing anything creative. Mm. So that's when it's the hardest for me. Mm-hmm. And at that phase in my life, I wasn't doing anything creative. And I said to my sister, I said, I want to date somebody different now. I want a different type. And I said, and I don't even care what he looks like. That is a dangerous statement to make because I went to a town hall meeting in Brooklyn, days after that. Mm-hmm. And soon as I walked in, this guy was across the room and he was already making a beeline for me. I didn't even have a seat yet, right? By the time my ass hit that seat, he was in front of me doing his best pitch, right? So he was the court reporter for this whole thing. And so, I checked him out head to toe. All right. So, okay, of course I'll go on a date with you, And so we went on a date and he was one of those brothers that did not know when to stop talking. You talking way too much shit about the state of Black America and what is wrong. He's one of them. And what is wrong. And then he said the one thing that made me do what I did to him. Mm-hmm. Because this is speaking of what you said about how easy it is to manipulate someone, especially mm-hmm. when you are the light in the room. And so I'm listening to him talk about the state of Black America, and I'm thinking to myself, did you even talk to any Black people? Because this sounds like bullshit to me. Yeah. But we're going to get into this on the second date when I can tell you when, where, and how you're wrong.
Right.
And you didn't talk to any Black people about these ideas you have. And then the last thing he said was, because the thing about Black women is they're not used to being treated well. I never forgot that statement because he said it just like that. Wow. They're not used to being treated well.
It's true.
Now I'm a Black professional woman in my 9 to 5, look, right? Suit, designer raincoat, yep. Beautiful shoes, because I'm coming from work. Right? And you're going to look at me and say, Black women are not used to being treated well?
It's true.
So now I looked at him again, head to toe, and I priced everything he had on. And I said, at the very least, I'm going to take you for a fucking ride that's going to cost twice as much as all this shit you have on your back. I'm going to do it to you. You need this lesson.
Right.
Went home, called my sister, and I was like, let me tell you what kind of dude I met today and what I'm going to do to him. Mm-hmm. Because you can make the statement that Black women are not used to being treated well. Well, the ones that haven't been treated well have been mistreated by Black men. Are you out of your fucking mind saying something like that?
Right.
That sounds insane. You need to be punished. He's still in love with me. We haven't been together for 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
But he had to get that lesson.
Right.
Because I'm going to make you do all the things. Just like you said, we're not used to being treated well. Obviously, I'm going to let you lead the way and show me.
Right.
Yeah.
It is so sick to hear black men and women speak about that to each other.
I couldn't believe he said it. It was the first date. First date, you say that to me?
Right.
Oh. And that brother, I did to him what I knew I could.
Right.
Yeah. I'll tell you behind the scenes all what I did.
I know him.
Mostly because, like, he needed to be punished for saying that about black women.
Yeah.
Like, because that was, like, not, like, why would you say that?
You have him spooked.
So you need to be schooled, right?
Yeah, you spooked him.
Yeah. Why would you? So now I'm going to see, what do you call black women being treated well? Then show me what that looks like.
Right.
Since you think we out here on some barren desert waiting for your greatness to come along.
Right.
Let's see how great you think you are. Let's see. Yeah. You said it, I didn't, so
yeah.
What we going to do? I love Bloomingdale's, don't you? Well, what are you going to say now? He got to take me.
Right.
Because you said we're not used to being treated well.
Treat me well.
I love Bloomingdale's. All right, yeah, I'll take you, you get whatever you need. I said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. What the fuck do you mean get whatever? Of course I'm getting what I need. Of course I am. You said we're not used to anything. Like I'm some hood rat that you dragged out of the ghetto and bought me some scrimps and rice. I had a job on Wall Street, nigga. That's where you met me, coming from my job on Wall Street. And you thought looking at a black girl like me and telling me I'm not used to being treated well? You didn't even ask me for my background yet. You didn't ask me if I was from a 2-parent home. You didn't ask me if I had siblings. You didn't ask me who my closest relative was, because I could have talked to you for hours about my grandma. You just acted like you dragged me out of some, like the Marcy Projects, and you dusted me off. Now I'm good enough to hang with you. Tripping. So that's the difference with all of these relationships. It all boils down to we're all in pain. I'm alarmed at how depressed and how depression is happening with black men. Because now it's not even just a matter of, black men, get the brunt of everything in the world, but they're depressed now.
Right.
They're depressed. They are depressed. They're going through a depression. That's a bad sign when I talk to this many black men that are depressed and going through depression.
Right.
That's a bad sign. Then you've got women who, for the first time in the history of black women, don't think they're beautiful.
That's major.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like on both sides,
Like you believe black women are feeling the need to have Brazilian butt lifts?
Oh, yeah. Because they feel like girls that just are plain beautiful girls, they don't feel like they fit anymore. And they think that the story on Instagram is true, that this is what, that's the only thing black men like now is, women that look like this, and that's not true. But the messaging that they're getting is that is indeed true. But it would help if you all stop asking the Lord for the same black man. 6 feet tall, dark skin, you know, buff, you know. I don't need abs. I'm grown. There's some shit that just comes off the list when you are grown and real life shit needs to be done. Yeah. Abs are not really going to do any of the things that I need on my list. It's not going to do any of those things.
Right.
So I don't need abs. Plus, all of that abs, he don't eat popcorn in bed watching a movie on Saturday. I can't hang out with this nigga. What we going to do? Like,
drink water?
We going to drink water. He is not going to appreciate my love for champagne.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, can't have the sugar.
Right. I like to eat popcorn and drink champagne in bed when I'm watching my favorite movie on a Saturday.
Right.
We can't do that with your abs. Like, you think I'm going to get caramel glow cake once he's with his abs? I can't hang out with him.
It's going to be vegan.
Oh, Jesus, kill me. I just had you make me a steak for my birthday dinner. What am I going to do with a vegan dude? I can't hang out with him. And I like to eat healthy. I do. Because I like all the vegetables. Right? That's why I asked you for cauliflower, because I love cauliflower. But what am I doing with Mr. Abs? Okay, sister, you already got one child. Right? You know that you need help with your situation from any man that you date seriously, you consider. Right? You're going to need help. You don't need this nigga that's going to be at the gym, like, working on his abs. You need a guy that works at the post office. He's a great dude. He's about his business. He has a savings account and a checking account. Right?
Right.
He is looking for the same thing you're looking for. He wants a woman to love that he can spoil. Right? You looking for the same thing, you know. And God bless you, young sisters. Some of y'all do really need to start learning how to cook now. Don't start practicing on him like you're going to wait for him to get in there, then you're going to start cooking shit. Please don't.
Listen, I can't tell you how many women have said, DeMarcus, we going to cook for me. I ain't cooking shit. For the women, that's one of the worst. That line, to me, is how women say, what's up, what's going on, something like that. If a woman just comes at me like that, it shows that you have no interest in what I got going on. You just want what you want.
Right.
A woman that I appreciate and enjoy her time, she ain't even got to ask for it.
Because she know.
I can count on my hand how many women I've actually went out of my way to cook for. Not ones that just tried the food. Ones that I was like, hey, I actually want to cook for you. Want to do this. And the crazy thing is, I think majority of them can actually cook too.
Of course they can. Can I tell you something? I've told every young sister, I said, when you are dating a particular type of man, you don't have to ask him for shit. Because they were all saying like, and you know, you have to ask him for something, you got to say it like this, and you got to, I said, when you're dating a quality man, you don't have, really, and really, I will say this, with black men across the board, unless he's a true dirtbag, you don't have to ask them for anything. They will, because they're decent. If he doesn't, you need to not date him. Don't let him in your house.
They ain't even got to do much.
Do not let him in your house.
Right.
Right? Now, for men that, you know, cook, if you don't know how to cook as a woman and a woman meets you, right? What she should be saying is, I never learned how to cook. They never taught me. I would love it if you could teach me.
That's the thing.
Ain't that the golden thing you would love to hear? I just did it for you. That's
crazy. I've said online, like on Instagram, and so I'll put on my story, I can't be with a woman that don't cook. If a woman was willing to go, and I'm not saying like a woman hasn't, but I'm saying
no, but we keeping it real.
If they don't go the extra mile, what's going to happen is, of course, you're going to assume that that's the case.
And what are we going to do together?
Nothing.
Right?
You're going to automatically assume that just because I said that it's true that I don't want a woman that don't cook. No. I want a woman that's being open to learning how to do it. We can do it together.
If you don't know how, you can learn together. But, you know, some things will never change about just the history of the world, and that is men and women, right? Or you and your partner, because I don't judge anyone, right? You want the person that is your equal, the person that matches the goal that you have for your life. You want that goal to match the goal for their life as well. Now, when I tell sisters that they need to learn how to cook, the women in my family taught me how to cook because I needed survival skills.
For your damn self.
I needed survival skills.
Right.
You know, my aunt Glendora, God bless her, she was always about the game of survival. I'm going to teach you what you need to know when you're on your own. Because one thing about the women in my family, they didn't give a damn about none of that handicap shit. Like, we're going to help you survive because you're going to have to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
You ain't going to be 35 sleeping in your childhood bedroom. You getting out of here.
Right.
That's clear.
Yeah.
So, right? But my Aunt Glendora, she taught me survival. So she would make me go to the grocery store with her. And you know, as a kid, that's the last place you want to go, right? But you don't play with the women in this family.
Right.
When they're teaching you something, it's front and center. You better pull it together.
Right.
So she said, now we have $100. We got to feed 4 people for a week. You plan this meal. Plan the meal. Now, that was after me watching her grocery shop, and she made me pay attention to what she would pick out. I'm going to get this because we're going to have this on that day. I'm going to get that, right? And she's, are you paying attention? Because she'd holler at you. Yes, ma'am. I'm paying attention, Aunt Glendora. A month in, that's when she gives me the $100 and said, plan a meal for 4 people with $100. And I mean all of it. And then, like, I did what I saw her do, right? And I went a little over $100. It was $125. So she looked in the basket. She said, so where did you make your mistake? She's teaching me survival, right? Now I've learned how to cook enough. So now it became my job 2 days a week. I had to cook dinner for all of us twice a week, right? And I had to plan a full meal, right? And I got to make this work because this is what is budgeted, right? Survival. So then so she knew how to cook everything. So she says to me, so today we're going to make beef Wellington. Well, I had only seen that in movies. Like, you know, so she makes beef Wellington and I'm watching her do it. And I'm low. And I know at that moment, this is a recipe I'm never going to master because it looked like something out of a magazine. And you got to be like that level. You could probably really do a beef Wellington because, like, I'm looking at you. Of course, you didn't even blink or nothing. Most people like, what? What is that even? What is beef Wellington? You didn't even.
Hell, the caramel glow cake when I did it was the first time I did it when you had it.
See, now I did not know that. How many times have I eaten that? If I even
and the way I made that one was different than the yellow cake caramelized.
I'm so addicted to that cake. Can we pivot for 2 seconds? That even if I think you made it and I hit you up on the gram, that's me finding out, did you make it? Because you know you cannot, like, not let me have something. Like, you know you got to.
You got a whole thing in there where it goes.
What? It's my birthday.
Yeah.
So she makes this beautiful beef Wellington. And she says, now, I already taught you how to make rice, right? I taught you how to make greens. I taught you how to make chicken 4, 5, 6 different ways. She said, that's that. She said, beef Wellington is when you're doing well and you want to treat yourself to something special. She said, rice and beans is probably going to what you need most of your young life to survive when you start working and paying bills. And damn if she wasn't right, because that was the first thing I said after I had to pay the rent here the first time. I was like, well, it's going to be chicken, rice, and beans this week.
Got to do what it do.
Every day this week.
Yeah.
All the leftovers, I'm going to have to eat all of it because that rent got to be paid.
Right.
You know. So I say that to say, when I tell young sisters that you need to learn how to cook, it's not so that you can, like, And I know they hate it. Please a man. God forbid you please a man. I ain't never had a brother that wasn't like thrilled that I could cook.
Yeah.
It was almost like,
amazing.
Thank God she can cook.
Yeah.
And here's the thing sisters don't know. They ain't grown yet. There is nothing a man likes better than seeing a woman with a big butt scooting around the kitchen, making him a meal that he is going to have in a minute.
That is a fact.
What? You think you're going to have to ask for money to get your hair done on Saturday? Yes. No, you won't.
It's a pleasing experience like no other.
You ain't going to never have to ask for money to get your hair done. I've never had to ask.
Right.
Learn how to cook.
And you're willing to reciprocate it too. The thing is, the women also that are getting the treatment, they not afraid to take the guy out to have a good time because it ain't just about a man getting treated a certain way.
Yes.
The guy should, in these things to where it's like, I also see online, I've even heard it from some women friends where they're like, a guy got to do all this until we start getting into a relationship. But it's like, you got to be able to show him the love too. And he's going to want to show you more.
Right.
And the people that, I've seen this a lot, you'll see where people get in these group chats, they get in these, crew of friends, and they always complain about who's not shit, who is.
Oh, God.
And what happens is, it's always the people that don't get who they want or who they're attracted to. Nobody wants them. And they'll talk about all these experiences they had and everything. But you ain't getting the people that's good for you. You ain't getting the people that want you. So, of course, first of all, that's why you're in all these groups anyway.
You single as hell. And I can tell because you just all in these group chats, like answering every reply. Right. You got a lot of time on your hands.
Too much time.
Too much time on your hands.
The women that's having a good time, the men that's having a good time, they in and out.
I mean, because like who doesn't want to be treated well and treated nicely? Right. Honestly, I've never encountered a man like who didn't reciprocate if he was being treated like he mattered. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. If you're a brother and you treat a woman like she matters. Yeah. Like she matters. Mm. If you say she matters to you, then you have to act like she matters.
And the woman will be willing to do a whole lot more than you would even think, and more for you than she's ever done for the other man. No matter how much the dudes try to brag,
it don't even matter.
That from her.
It don't even matter.
The experience that she'll give you if you treat her right is way past all that. Whether it's short term, long term, it don't matter.
My sister and my brother-in-law, Ed, who I adore him because he's so good to my sister. But what I like about watching them together is they complement each other so beautifully because they're both always doing something for the other. They're both like, she's always like, when I talk to her on the phone, she's like, and now Ed, and I told him he has got to start eating more vegetables. So tonight I'm making blah, blah, blah. And I told him he's going to start taking these vitamins. And this is her language of she's taking care of him. She wants him to be healthy. Of course, you want this man for a lifetime, mm-hmm. And he does wild, extravagant things for her, like crazy shit for her. That's because he loves her. Right. And she loves him, and I watch the men in his family, because these are all Southern boys, by the way. Mm. They're all from North Carolina. Mm. And I'm watching his Uncle Joe, who has become my Uncle Joe, right? And how impeccable he is with his word and how he treats his wife and how he talks to and about his wife. Like these are men that have paid a great attention to what it means to be a couple. Because you can marry anybody. Right. We see people in Hollywood, they get married for 5 minutes and can't hang in there longer than 5 minutes. They're like, this is hard. I got to get out of here. Yeah. Okay.
The divorce settlement is longer than the time y'all was together.
Right. Mm. You want to know a statistic that I learned, and I started telling Black women this statistic, and they didn't believe me. Mm-hmm. So, when somebody controls your image, they tell the world and they inform you what you should think of you. So we see a lot of interracial relationships on the gram, on television, and now it's in every commercial. And what this is doing is telegraphing to Black women that they no longer matter.
It's a stat thing.
You see you watch the NAACP awards, and no disrespect to Byron Allen, because you really are a powerhouse in the way that he is navigated in Hollywood. But they're all at the NAACP Image Awards, and it is a table full of successful Black men, all married to nothing but white women. Yep. Now, I don't know how you feel comfortable in that space, like at the NAACP, but okay. Yeah. Maybe that's your person and that's who you found. All right. Because I got no judgment.
People that's higher up, they want to do it like that, which is crazy to me. But it's crazy, but I get why.
No, okay. I need to hear that.
Yeah.
I need to hear the why from a man's perspective.
I get why.
Right. But I said to, the women, because I had to look, because I wanted to see, because I kept hearing Black women say, they only want white women. I said, now that is patently untrue, because not all Black men are even attracted to white women.
Right.
There are a lot of Black men who've never dated even a white woman. You couldn't put $1 million around the neck of a white girl and send her to Robert De Niro. He don't want her. All his women have been Black.
I can count on my hand how many white girls I've had.
See?
Barely. I mean.
Right? Yeah. So.
Especially the time that I grew up in. I mean, that's extremely common. I mean,
of course. It became common. Yeah. But in regards to marriages, the percentage is much higher for Black couples being married to each other.
It's like over 85%.
Thank you. I'm so glad you gave the stat.
And it's actually 95% of people that are past the 6-figure range. So even though we see the Byron Allens of them,
because that's all they show. It's TV.
David Stewart, you know who David Stewart is? He's the richest Black man in America. He's from, I believe he's from maybe Oklahoma, but he has one of the top tech companies in the world.
Shut up.
And he's never been talked about as much. He's an older man, but I think him and his wife been married for like 45, 50
See
years.
what I'm saying?
His daughter, she does production, and I think he may have some other kids, but it's a Black family, and he believes in God. There was I think he was doing an interview. He was sitting with a woman, and this man is sitting in the church, the richest man in the world, and the stuff he's saying is like, you would decide he was just a guy off the street, based on what he's saying. Married to a Black woman and not let any of this other stuff get to him.
So,
the richest.
When I tell Black women the statistic, and then I tell them what I see with my own eyes, right? Because the next thing they say is, on the weekend, all you see is like Mexican men out with their families and with their. Now, I am in that park every day during the summer. All I see are young Black men and their women with their children, like just everywhere. I go to parade ground. I can do both parks on the same day, and it's the same thing. And I'm like, where are you all looking? And if you are looking, is it that you refuse to see the truth?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? Yeah. Even though they see it, is they still just, so they want to be married to the narrative?
And there's some arguments.
Tell me why.
There's some arguments that I would say that, I mean, I wouldn't say, but that some people feel as if there's a single child situation, if the woman is being raised by a Black man, or if the boy is being raised by a Black man, he or she may be better off than with the single man.
I'll tell you what I see.
Depending on the generation.
I'll tell you what I see in parade grounds, right? That park in particular, because that one has the swing sets for different ages, right? There's not a time that I've gone to that park in the summertime, and I'm outside in the summer every day. I have never not seen a Black man with his children and only focused on his children. Right. Because here go, hoes are everywhere. Hoes, they just drop from the sky. I don't even know where these bitches come from, but they could just smell like there's a man around. I got to try. And they'll just be walking by with like whatever little tight outfit or whatever the case may be, trying to get this man's attention. And I can tell you these men never look up. And here's why. He came to the park with his little man.
Right.
And his baby's on the swing. You think he gonna stop like checking in on his baby to turn around and look at you? He can see you bitches all day.
Right.
And why are you even, you should be sitting back and like channeling that energy. Like, if that's what you want, you should be asking God, please, God, that's the kind of man I want that would take my kids to the park on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because if that was your baby, you wouldn't want your man like taking his eyes off the baby.
Right.
Right? But that's all I see during the summer, you know, is Black men walking around with their kids, and they're so proud.
Yeah.
You know, when you tell them, I'm like, your baby's so cute. He's like, right, this is my little man here. Like, he just turned 4, and you get to hold it. Now I got to stop because I got to hear about the baby.
Right.
That's how proud they are. Where are y'all looking that y'all don't see this? And I see it every day.
Yeah.
But when somebody is married to the narrative, they could see it and still won't acknowledge the truth of what is being seen. Example. I don't know if that jewelry store, that pawn shop was still open. You know the pizza parlor right there on the corner of Flatbush and Parkside?
Yeah.
I remember right next door, there used to be that little pawn shop there.
I don't know.
It might have been closed by the time you moved here. Anyway, that little like spot was open here for decades. And, you know, he was the best because he repaired your jewelry for you, like, you know. Mm-hmm. And he looked Jewish, you know, immigrant. And he was real friendly. And he was a nice, like, older man. Like, you know, he was an old man. And I used to stop to talk to him every day in the summertime. And he started telling me about his life. And this was maybe 6 months before he was murdered. Mm-hmm. And as long as we'd known each other, this is the first time he told me about, like, his, you know, journey to America and his children and how he got his children educated and how much money he had when he got here. And trust me, it was nothing. He had no money. Cool. So then he says, and you know, that's the thing, you know, that the Black man needs to do. He needs to take care of his children. Now, David stood in front of that store every day because he stood outside every day talking to everybody because all the neighbors knew. And he literally said the words like, Black men need to take care of their children. Now, we're outside, and while he's saying this, we're watching the Black men go up and down the street taking their kids home from school. The reason I tell this story is it is right in front of his face every day for 30 years. But you were so married to the narrative that even though it's right here on the sidewalk in front of you, you are still married to the narrative. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with Black women. They're so married to the narrative that they won't see what is obvious. Now, why do you think like some Black men only date white women?
I think that I like listening to Dr. Umar. So.
Wait, I think I know who that is.
His perspective is on, he's super pro Black women. His thing is that he feels as if some Black men, or a good amount, may have self-hate. Now, if a Black man says that he does not date Black women at all, I think it's self-hate.
Oh, you hate?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's ridiculous. I think that the reason why they'll be pro-marry or pro-date them, okay, say if they do like Black women or whatever, I think it's because of what they feel that they'll get from a status standpoint. So when we talk about Byron Allen and them, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I think, not Byron Allen, but the other guy, he has the fro.
Fro?
Let me see. Let me look it up real quick.
What business is he?
He does the VC stuff.
Okay.
Richest Black.
There's Byron Allen.
What was his name? I'm gonna find it here in a second.
You know, we have to do a part 2 to this interview because I need to talk to them about your garden.
Oh yeah, see
I'm so fascinated.
They all behind. They ain't ready for that.
I'm just so fascinated.
Robert Smith.
I know who that is.
And he was married initially to a black woman for like 30, 40 years, and then he ended up getting divorced, and then he's with the white woman.
What do you think that's about?
I don't know. I mean, obviously for his situation, I think what it is that once you get to a certain level, there's a certain status or a symbol that it looks for some of them to have a white woman. What type of respect they'll get in the room.
That's the case in Hollywood for sure.
Right.
Is that it's always been the quiet psychological narrative is that I'll do better if I have a white woman on my arm.
And what's crazy is that, as crazy as it sounds, that's true.
Really? Tell me why you think that.
I feel because of how society moves and because white women are put on the pedestal, because the white woman is worshipped, because the person that's worshipped the most in the world at all is the white man.
Right.
So as far as the image that women in America and stuff have, technically is the white women, even though we have black women that are beautiful and have been.
Right.
But the image that they see is a white woman. So that's why you have the BBLs and all that. So I think that based on that, it's a status thing. And I think
that is true in Hollywood for sure.
For them, because at the end of the day, when you see jobs and all that, DEI.
Right.
We're talking about that getting removed. Who did it benefit the most? White women.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, the white women.
For your people in mind who had to endure the brutality of slavery, right?
You have to definitely do a part two.
We had to endure the brutality of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a different perspective on this whole, DEI thing, right? We always know that we're going to be fine because we survived it and our people survived it at the worst. Now, people that came here that happen to be black, that came from other places around the world, they don't know what is in our DNA about what we know about racist white America.
Right.
We already know.
And racist white America makes them feel as if being black in America is the worst thing ever.
Right. Meanwhile, because, when we had Juneteenth and when we had the 4th of July, I went around thanking everybody that wasn't Black American. I was like, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. Because all the hard work we did, that is why you're here. You're welcome. Right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay? So them removing it, we will do what we always did. Like back in the day, like during Reconstruction, when we could start going to school, what did we do? We found the smartest kids in the community, and we all chipped in to send those kids to college. Collective effort.
Right.
That's why you have all of these, the Howard universities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what we had to do. Tuskegee, that's why we have that.
Right.
Right? So we know what to do. Now, I'm about to bust a whole big, huge myth. And nobody's going to like it. But we're going to part two because I'm just going to tell it. And then we're going to stop.
Yeah.
Okay? So, in Hollywood, that is when it became prevalent that, you would do better if you had a white woman on your arms. Right? There's a huge star that is now deceased. And he was dating another huge star, black couple. And this story is legendary. And the people that know, when I tell this story, they're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say any names. But he was in love with her and she was desperately in love with him. It was rumored that she had gotten pregnant. And he told her that he could not be with her because he would never get anywhere in Hollywood married to a black woman. Right. Okay. Now here's where I'm going to bust a whole myth and I'm going to tell black men the truth. Because this is the truth nobody's ever told you all. Spread the word, however, when I'm done. White men have no respect for you in the corporate structure and beyond when they see that you don't even like your own women. Here's why. And now this is just my own theory. Here's why. When I worked on Wall Street, I looked around, and every one of us as assistants, secretaries, typists, receptionists, we were all women of some color configuration. We make their whole lives where they make their money easy. They know that we're smart and that we're competent. And if we take off one day, his whole life collapses for the day. Right. It all goes horrible. And they have a woman running their place of business that makes it possible for them to focus on the money because she's got everything else in hand. Right. And they don't understand what the fuck is wrong with y'all, that y'all don't love your own women. Yeah. Because it's a black woman that's running their whole lives. Now, for black men in Hollywood, they thought they couldn't get anywhere being married to a black woman. They should have checked with Ozzie Davis and Ruby Dee. Because I think 60-year marriage is some pretty good odds there.
Denzel
and Pauletta and Sam Jackson. Right. Like, the list goes on and on.
Right. And that's how it should be. That's the truth.
And those of you that, you know, tend to think that that is a status symbol, that you have this blonde on your arm or whatever the case may be, they don't respect you. And you could legitimately love that white woman. Because that is not what the conversation is about. White women, every conversation about race is not you.
Right.
Okay. Oh, and you're welcome, by the way, because all the hard work for civil rights has been done and you were the only one that benefits. Okay.
Piece of shit.
Got it. So, full disclosure. So, they don't respect you. Yeah. Because there's usually a black woman running his whole world. He can relax and actually get down to the business of making fucking money. Which is the thing he knows he needs to keep your ass satisfied and quiet.
And that's why it works better in their favor, which I'm not saying it's the right thing at all.
Right.
But that's why it works better in their favor to have a white woman, because at the end of the day, from what you just said, she ain't got to do no work because they're going to have our women doing the other types of work.
Yeah, we're doing the rest.
And then as far as the respect that they're going to get, the white man's going to look at it like, hey, we don't want that woman anyways. So, you know, whatever happens, it happens. And she's going to look at it as, hey, I'm a black man and fetishize or whatever. But the real women that's going to support you and be there, the black women.
And I'm only talking to the hoes right now. And then we're going to put a part 2 pin in this. I'm only talking to the hoes right now. And you know who you are. We've seen how you operate. So when my sister first married my brother-in-law, like, they had this house that we used to call the McMansion. And every time, like, she would open the door when they were, because she, like, is a marvelous decorator. So she had, like, a lot of different, like, people coming in and out, people that would hang the pictures professionally. She had great artwork. And they were always surprised that that was the home of a black woman married to a black man. So the house is sold. They're moved in. Everything is cool. Next thing you know, the white woman, the realtor, starts calling and leaving voicemails for my brother-in-law. Now, my sister is not the one to do that to. She's a Pisces. This could go horribly fucking bad for you, girl. It's not cute. Well, and then she specifically asked for him on the voicemail. You gonna ask for my sister's husband on the voicemail that she gonna hear? What kind of fucking woman you think you dealing with, bitch? Right? So after the fourth one, she let her have it and then really dropped the boom on her and called her fucking boss. And tell your employee, because on the status totem pole, you are way lower than my sister. You're way lower. You're project level compared. You're not even project level. Like, you're middle of America, just got, like, indoor plumbing like 20 years ago. That's who you are.
Yeah.
But the fact that you thought you could do that your white skin gave you that kind of cachet that you thought that you could just openly leave messages for him.
That's the type of stuff.
Unsolicited.
That's the type of stuff where we as black people, when we're having these race conversations, they want to try to deem us as racist, which is ridiculous. We can only be prejudiced because we're not the ones being oppressed.
I can't oppress anybody. I don't have any power.
I don't have any power.
But I can say, you, Miss Realtor, you're a hoe.
Yeah.
Because that's a hoe move. Hoes do that.
And you got an advantage. Any room that you go into, any time that you're in a room, you have an advantage. So at the end of the day, by somebody even having a conversation like this, you have no reason. How can you even feel offended?
So can I tell you what I think the whole psychological makeup of her was? How dare this black woman live in a way that I never will? I can take him. And I'm speaking to that host specifically, not white women overall, because I know how y'all get in a huff. I'm talking about that host. She knows who she is. She knows who she is.
Right.
So, okay. Who does that?
Yeah.
But you think somebody respects you? And 9 times out of 10, she didn't even get in trouble at work for doing that.
Wow.
They probably told her, you stop it. Now somebody's going to beat your ass one day. You might want to curb that because these are dangerous times all the way around for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's stable right now.
Right.
I wouldn't push that envelope. Yeah. But the fact that she was comfortable doing it, that's what did it for me, was her comfort level at doing it.
Right.
Like she just almost immediately started leaving him.
Right.
Like voicemails.
Wow.
As if this isn't their house together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be unpacked there, but I can tell you one thing. In corporate business circles, they have no respect for you. So you can put a pin in, I'll tell you a true story that actually happened to a black man in that arena and how they treated him. So
listen, I think that's a great stopping point.
I think so too.
This was great. We did this for like almost 3 hours.
Shut up.
Yeah, let's go see what it is.
This is a part 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I know. This is we at 250. So
my God.
For y'all that are tuning in, it's Precenda's birthday, technically yesterday. But we was able to celebrate her. I was able to do a birthday dinner for her. She's from Brooklyn. Always is a joy. As far as this conversation, like I said, she gets spicy. I like to have spicy conversations as well too. But we have conversations like this all the time. So I could even ask her some more questions if you want me to next time, where she can really go off on y'all and say some say some of her wild stories. But definitely let people know how you feeling today, how you enjoy the conversation.
Well, I wanna focus on you. I am so grateful to you. You know, I had a rough start to my day, and you know, just even when you sent me the text, I said, okay, you know what? I got to rally because like if he's going to hang in there with me, you know, for today and like, just go, like go, you need a good meal. Like it's your birthday. You planned for this, you know, and I am so grateful to you, you know, just your energy, your presence. I think you are so amazing. And that golden caramel cake, I'm serious. We got to figure out how we can get that sold in Target. Sometimes I just put things in the universe. Okay. But I am so grateful to you. And I had no idea that I was going to be doing this today. Yeah. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, you know, that you have presented me with here. This is huge to me. Yeah. You know, this is huge to me, you know. I just asked God last night, you got to tell me what my next steps are because I clearly don't know what I'm doing right now. So when you hit me with this today, I was like, okay, God, this is when you tell me to get out of my own way when I'm doing the most. Yeah. And that meal was spectacular. That meal was spectacular. So y'all, you know where to find him. The food is amazing. Treat yourself. And you know what? Even brothers, have a chef make you a nice meal. You work hard. You're doing all the right things, taking good care of yourself. Some of y'all taking care of your mama. Some of y'all taking care of your mama and your grandmama. You need a break.
You know how many times I try to get my homies together, I do a dinner for them?
You know what?
Ain't nobody follow through. I live with some friends for 2 years, and barely, I may have let them have some leftovers from time to time. Never had one time where
you know what? It's because they never had the permission to do something nice like that for themselves. Right? Same thing with women. Like, that's why I did this, because I always saw that there were women that were getting like their partners or their husbands to do this. Why do you have to wait until you have somebody? I've got me. Shit, I'm the most important guest at the table.
Right.
I've got me.
That's it.
So treat yourself. Learn how to take good care of yourself. Self-love is self-care. And doing something wonderful for yourself, like having a chef make you a meal for your birthday. That steak it was more than I ever thought it was going to be. You are so talented.
Thank you.
And I think I can break there. Precenda Inc. _ on all social media.
Hey, you heard her. I appreciate you so much. We're definitely going to do a part 2, 3, 4. But this is a new start.
All right.
A great start.
To the beginning of the year.
Yes. We got to take a little picture.